Welcome to Lesson 2, Independent-Dependent Variables and Solving Equations. In this video, we're just going to focus on independent-dependent variables. And the textbook defines these as follows. An independent variable is a variable whose value is not determined by the value of another variable, and whose value determines the value of another, i.e. the dependent variable. Whereas the dependent variable is a variable whose value is determined by the value of another, i.e. the independent variable. So in other words, as the independent variable changes, the dependent variable is going to be changed too, because it depends on, as it's affected by, the independent variable. So another way to think about this as well is that the dependent variable, it is what is being measured in an experiment. So let's look at a couple examples, so this will make a bit more sense. Example 1, we have an experiment being performed to determine which brand of paper towels absorbs the most liquid. We have to determine the independent and dependent variables. So we do have two variables here. We have the brand of paper towels, and we have the amount of liquid being absorbed. So changing the brand of paper towel is also going to change the amount of liquid being absorbed. You can think of it that way. Or as I said, the dependent variable is what's being measured here. What is being measured? The amount of liquid is being measured. So we can say that the dependent is the amount of liquid absorbed, and so the independent is the brand of paper towel. Okay, next example. Here we have an equation that relates the growth of a plant per week, and it's given by the equation h is equal to 5 plus 1.5 w, where h represents the height of the plant in centimeters, and w is the number of weeks. So once again, we have to determine the independent and dependent variables. So our two variables we have here are the growth of the plant, so the height of the plant, and the number of weeks. So what is being measured here? The height of the plant is being measured, and the independent variable is the number of weeks. So the height of the plant depends on the number of weeks it's been growing. Now here I just got a little note to say that if you were presented with a graph as opposed to an equation or situation, then the way we can identify the independent and dependent variables is that the independent is always on the x-axis and the dependent is always on the y-axis. So that's how you can identify the variables, or if you had to draw a graph, that's where you would place your variables.